What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Sybient, and we're back with another tune from Carbon Based Lifeforms' 2010 album, Interloper. It's interesting to me that I'm going back to this album a little more frequently than Hydroponic Garden or World of Sleepers, though again, we will go through those albums properly, or more than I already have. I think I've done like one tune from each, maybe. But yeah, it's interesting to me because again, at the time, I felt like, this is a really cool album, but it's not quite what I expected, and it's, maybe I don't quite like it on the same level. But as often happens with that, and certainly the way I interact with music, sometimes when a release or an album, or like a track or an album overall, are a bit challenging, they sort of like break my expectations, and they're a bit more demanding on the ear. Sometimes when I go through that process, when I come out the other side, I actually end up enjoying it even more than something that was perhaps immediately accessible. This happens with techno records a lot. I'll get a record, or trance records. I'll get a record primarily for one particular tune, even if one or two others are enjoyable. And then maybe over time, one that perhaps didn't jump out to me right away sort of surpasses the other tracks on the vinyl and becomes my favorite track, even though it wasn't the one I bought it for. So yeah, it's interesting how this album has sort of risen to the surface for me when it comes to something. If I want to listen to Carbon Based Lifeforms, sometimes I go to this album first overall, even though, again, at first it was a bit contrary to what I thought it would be. In any case, we're going to listen to another tune called Frog, or not another tune called Frog, a tune called Frog, another tune from the album Interloper, which again is on Ultimae 2010. Shout out to the brilliant French label. And yeah, let's get to it. This is Carbon Based Lifeforms. The tune is Frog, and it's from their 2010 album, Interloper. My cat is dreaming, and she's like... chime, which has now become sort of central to the overall. I was about to say is about to be joined. Sounds like a guitar. Don't know if that's what it is for sure, but that last layer sounds like a guitar. Very delicately played. I swear, every time I do Sybient reactions, it's like I get something in my eye. I don't know what the correlation is. a planet rise, like coming around the sun, or vice versa. Breathy kind of pad vocal. It is sort of like Head in the Clouds music. If I was in a really good mood and I wanted just to try to capture that vibe, I could put on this track and luxuriate in its sonics. It's like everything dematerializes into vapor. The mist. Oh, big stretch. It's like it's just the whole track, not just a mist, but it turns into like this blurry, like collection of atoms. If you subscribe to the cold death of the universe, yeah, the sort of like particle medium that is projected to be the sort of final state. That's what it made me think of, because everything lost definition, everything became blurry and became sort of blended into this homogeneous mass. Yeah, really cool tune. I enjoyed it. It was a bit more emotional than I remembered. I remember it had a sort of celestial, floaty, again, Head in the Clouds feel, but it had that main, I don't know like what type of instrument it's sort of built on or sort of emulates, but it's sort of like a plucked melodic rhythm. That main kind of line was a bit more emotionally saturated than I remember. But yeah, once again, shout out to Carbon Based Lifeforms. More reactions from them to come. More from Ultimae more broadly. A number of artists I haven't even introduced yet. So this series is really just getting started. Let me know what you think of the tune. I will see you next time. Peace.